The genre of rhythm games is an interesting one to say the least. Timing a button press in accordance to the music playing in the game can sometimes be a lot harder than expected. To some, this style of gameplay can come a lot easier, especially if they're a bit more in touch with their musical side. Over the past 30 years or so, plenty of games have had their spotlight within this niche genre of gaming. Where most of these games use simple techniques such as waving your remote around or simply matching up buttons on the screen with the remote, the games that really take the cake are the ones with the unique controllers. Games such as Dance Dance Revolution make you light up the dance floor with the combination of your feet and a dance pad. Taiko no Tatsujin makes the player simulate playing a taiko drum by beating some sticks in correspondence to on-screen beats. Donkey Konga has the special DK bongos that are used to simulate bongo drums with a built-in microphone for hand claps. And lastly, my favorite rhythm game of all time, which is also the one I'll be talking about today, Guitar Hero. If you grew up in the early 2000s, then you would know just how big the Guitar Hero series was and how big of a lasting impact it had on the rhythm game genre. Being first released all the way back in 2005, Guitar Hero was your different take on a rhythm game, where most of this genre had a lot more electronic, pop, and rap-based music selections. Guitar Hero was to shine light on you as an upcoming rock star. But how could you be a rock star if you didn't have a guitar to play on? One of my favorite things about Guitar Hero as a child was this controller that came packaged with the game. In order to get through a song chart, you would click the strum bar either upwards or downwards, in unison with pressing a colored fret on the neck of the controller. In later games, charts would become way more difficult and a multitude of gimmicks would be included. But at its core, Guitar Hero had you rocking out through a number of songs using such a distinct controller type. And yes, I know that Guitar Hero drew heavy inspiration from Konami's arcade machine Guitar Freaks, but that game only had like 3 buttons at the time and it was really big overseas. Guitar Hero would go on to become a global phenomenon to the point where over the next 5 years, sequels and spin-offs galore would be released. Talk about oversaturation, am I right? From toys to phone apps to an arcade machine, Guitar Hero was dominating every single market, including the handheld market. I like some of the Guitar Hero games. But what the heck do they know about handheld gaming? Just how do you go about making this whopping 30-inch piece of plastic into a handheld experience? You do it by turning it into this. In 2008, Guitar Hero On Tour, brilliant name by the way, would be released for the Nintendo DS as a small big box package as there was a brand new controller to include. This would be called the Guitar Grip. In order to play this version of Guitar Hero, you needed to at least have an original Nintendo DS or DS Lite. The reason for this being that in order for your sick guitar skills to be read, you needed to plug in the Guitar Grip into the Game Boy Advance slot at the bottom of your console. As a kid, I found this out the hard way with my DSi. We'll talk about that later. Plugging in your Guitar Grip and inserting your game cartridge wasn't the end of the process though, because with no strum bar to click, how else would your inputs be read? Luckily enough, this is probably one of my favorite parts of this Guitar Grip. Hidden behind this sneaky little slot is your goblet of rock and roll, baby. By using the included guitar pick stylus, you would strum sideways on the DS and hold your matching colored frets in order to play a note. Kinda like you were playing a real guitar, to be honest. I absolutely love this piece of plastic included with this game because they could have taken the easy way out and just said to use your normal DS stylus, but no, this gives the accessory so much more personality. From 2008 to 2009, 3 mainline Guitar Hero DS games would be released for handhelds. Guitar Hero On Tour, Guitar Hero On Tour Decades, and Guitar Hero On Tour Modern Hits. And on top of these 3 games being released, a spin-off known as Band Hero, which focused more around playing other instruments and singing, was also released for like every single console at the time. Much like the home console line of games, every box came with its own guitar grip and additional stickers in order to help personalize your axe just a little bit more. Overall, I think each one of these games had very good sets of songs, much like the mainline series of games has. Where some try to focus more on certain areas of music history, for the most part, they all had some bangers throughout each game. As a kid, I only owned the spin-off Band Hero as I got it as a birthday gift one year, and as I look back on it and all the other on-tour games as well, the setlist for for these games make more sense to kind of adhere towards a younger audience, as these songs are more likely to be heard on a radio or a TV or even from your parents' album and CD collection. But just because it seems like I'm saying that these games are mainly for children, dear God, no, is it far from that. When I got Band Hero for my birthday one year, I was only able to really sing into the mic and play drums with the silicone grip that didn't fit because I didn't own a DS Lite. At the time, I had to play these games on my DSi, which my parents of course had no idea about the difference, but trying to play drum charts on Expert is absolutely insane. Holy crap, I cannot wrap my head around it, so let's go back to talking about the guitar grip. Now, learning how to hold this grip while strumming is one of the worst things I've had to get used to when it comes to playing these games. It's literally so uncomfortable no matter how hard you try to hold it in the right position. Either your wrist starts to get a horrible cramp, your neck and your eyes just start to grow tired from looking at the screen, or the grip just isn't in the right position, which therefore makes you miss notes. On top of these issues, I feel like the strumming aspect was always so weird to try and pull off with such a small area of space in order to hit on the guitar. Although as I was playing through the games on both my fat DS and DS Lite, it seemed like playing on the original chunky DS felt a lot better as there was a bit more weight to hold on to, which on the other hand though, the original DS screen isn't the best, so I suppose there's trade-offs when it comes to playing on either console. If you're so locked in on the game, watching the chart move as well as trying to strum notes at the perfect time, trying to lock in to activate your star power by clicking on this little microphone can sometimes mess you up and have you miss a note, which it doesn't feel good. Honestly, it doesn't feel good doing so. Now don't get me wrong, I love these games. And personally, I feel like these charts dealing with only 4 colored frets instead of the traditional 5 kind of makes the songs a little bit easier to play on Expert, but only if you really know how to hold this thing. Comparing Guitar Hero to Band Hero, of course there's things such as character customization and the ability to play set lists of songs, but where I notice things are drastically different is in the gameplay. Where Guitar Hero tends to stick to the more traditional line of games, having to drag the stylus across the screen is absolutely required in order for inputs to be read. In Band Hero, all you really need to do is just tap the screen. On top of this, Band Hero has extra goodies to go along with the songs you play as well, where Guitar Hero has just strictly star power built up by hitting star notes perfectly. Band Hero has not only star power, but also little mini games to just kind of gain extra score. There's a stage diving mini game where you have to calculate the right moment to launch your Rockstar into the crowd. There's a crowd surfing mini game where you have to drag your Rockstar through the crowd of fans with their hands up, kind of like a small maze. There's a Save the Roadie minigame where you have to pull up a roadie from a sea of fans. And lastly, that I know of, there's a swag giveaway minigame where you just have to throw out swag at fans with their hands up. There's a guitar smashing minigame where you have to smash a guitar amp. There's a high five minigame where you have to avoid slapping babies in the face. Honestly, pretty cool that Band Hero was able to do this. It kind of takes away from the whole aspect of playing guitar for, a concert, but it's fun. When it comes to these games being played on a DS, to me, it's a lot of fun to just pick up the DS, knock out a few songs, and then just go about my day. Overall, for what might absolutely be the biggest gimmick of a game, playing a plastic guitar, charting your ways up to the biggest venues, the fact that the devs of Guitar Hero were able to translate such a fun experience into a handheld device leaves me absolutely astonished. Hey, if you guys liked this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment if you have any memories of this. It's been a while since I've uploaded. I'm sorry. I've been really busy these past couple months. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye!